Hello friends, this is Ben Pierce, Senior Pastor, Fuquay-Varina Baptist Church, coming to you from 301 Studios in Fuquay-Varina. And today we're going to be talking about the King Jehu. He is the king in the north. He is the second longest reign for any of the kings in the north. Jeroboam II would be 41 years. Jehu is going to be 28 years that he's going to be king. Now, here's the thing about Jehu. Before he was king, he was commander of Ahab's army. So he worked for already a guy that wasn't too keen on following the Lord. Now, Jehoshaphat's son is who Jehu is, so he's listed under his grandfather because he's more well known. His name means Yahweh is he. I don't know if you follow sports now, but they'll say, oh, that guy, that's him. Well, that's what his name means, is Yahweh is he. Yahweh is him who we can follow. Yahweh is him who is all powerful. Now, we've said in the past that the northern kingdom had 0 good kings. Well, Jehu's a little bit of a mixture, so we could almost say, if as far as the northern kings go, Jehu would probably be the best of them, but he was still mixed-hearted or not following the Lord wholehearted. Now, one of the things that Jehu did was he got rid of Ahab's lineage and got rid of the Baal worship that was taking place in the north. Well, Ahab had made a mess. I mean, he had the Baal priest in the temple of the Lord, and so Jehu is going to clean it up, and boy, did he. I want you to know, Israel's history as far as the kings go, there's going to be a lot of violence, there's a lot of bloodshed, there's a lot of murder. Well, what Jehu does is he calls all the priests of Baal to the temple in the main city there, and he says, listen, I want y'all to come because, listen, if Ahab followed Baal on a scale from 1 to 10 and he was a 10, I'm going to be as a 50. I'm going to bless you. So all these priests come because they're excited. Well, he proceeds to basically wipe out all the priests. He destroys the sacred stones in the temple. And again, just a grim reminder of how dark, bloody, the betrayal, rebellion. There's actually some great reads there of as you look at all the kings. Well, God blessed Jehu because of his obedience. God told Jehu that his sons would sit on the thrones for 4 generations. The problem is they're not all good, because for Jehu, he held on to idol worship of King Jeroboam. You remember what King Jeroboam did in setting up those idols in the north so people would not go to the south to worship. And so he held on to those. A couple of things I think we can learn from Jehu. Number one is this: obedience precedes blessings. All right? And when we obey, God pours out the blessings. God can take away blessings if we disobey as well. Now, here's one other thing, is God begins to cut parts of Israel away. As they begin to disobey, the parts of their territory begin to shrink. And yes, they are on their way to exile. In fact, they're going to be wiped out. The northern kingdom is going to be wiped out by Samaria. We'll be looking at that coming up very shortly. But you can't serve. I think the main lesson we learn from Jehu is you can't serve 2 masters. You got to be totally given over to God. Matthew 6:24 tells us that. But God desires complete obedience, not partial, and God desires truth in our innermost parts. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be back next Tuesday, and I look forward to seeing you then.